Hey guys, today we're going to give you some tips and hints on how to thread your sewing machine and make your sewing more successful. So tips 1 and 2 are at the start of threading your machine. The first thing you want to make sure you do is if you're using a spool cap, make sure it's up against your thread spool really nice and tight, and that way you don't have to worry about the thread getting caught in between. The second tip has to do when you start threading the front of your machine and you're taking your thread into the tension discs. It's really important that, and I'm going to come down here, that you actually raise your presser foot. So notice how I brought that presser foot up. So use your presser foot lifter and raise that presser foot. That actually opens your tension discs and will allow you to get your thread in the tension disc to make your sewing better. Our next 2 tips are all about threading the needle. Remember, when we threaded the top of our machine, we wanted the presser foot in the upright position, or the presser foot up, so that the tension disc would be open so the thread could get in. When you're threading the needle, it's always better to go ahead and lower that presser foot. It gives you a little bit more room here if you are threading your machine and you're going to thread front to back through the eye of the needle. And you'll also notice that there is a little bit of white on our ankles, so you can see your needle eye a little bit better. But one of the great things about the Singer Heavy Duty is it does have this little needle threader. And with the needle threader, there's a hook on the left, and then I'm just gonna bring my thread underneath, and there's a little wire that just went through the eye of the needle when I pulled that forward. Notice how my thread is kind of hooked into that wire, which is what I want it to be, because then when I let go, I'm going to let go of both the needle threader as well as my thread. And look, there's a little loop that just came right through that eye of the needle. So I didn't have to thread my needle front to back because I've got this great manual needle threader. So I'm going to put my thread underneath my presser foot now, and I'm ready to put in a bobbin. Our last tip today is about putting in your bobbin. After you've wound your bobbin, you're going to go ahead and open up your bobbin case by taking out the cover. There is information right on that bobbin case that shows you how to put in your bobbin. For many machines, I won't say most because some are different, but for many machines, what that means is when you are holding your bobbin and looking at the bobbin, you want the thread to come off and make a letter P. If you think about it, the other direction is a letter Q, and that's not what you want. So you can always make sure that your bobbin is going in properly if it looks like a letter P with the thread coming off. We're just going to drop in our little bobbin into the bobbin case. I also like to hold my finger on the bobbin so it doesn't spin because, and I think it's probably impossible to hear that, but there's a little click when you actually get your thread in your tension disc. Use your hand wheel, and that's the big wheel on the right. Turn that once, and I just brought up my bobbin thread. I know sometimes people will use a scissors or try and get their finger in there to bring that bobbin thread up. All I do is I take my thread from the top, and it actually helps me bring that bobbin thread right back up. Doesn't matter how you do it, you just want both threads on top, ready to go, and now you're ready to sew.